You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. Be sure to smash that like button. All right, LSU back on the practice field today. Zach Von Rosenburg. Every time the Tigers are on the practice field, he joins us for a camp report. So let's do it.
For show, playboy, I'm a horse gun like Evil Knievel, jumping out Lexus and Hummer, showing off on my peak.
I'm the number one punter. I'm the number one punter.
Cringeworthy as ever, but equally as awesome. Zach Von Rosenburg, how are you, dude?
I'm doing great. Having to call a little bit of an audible today. We again got some inclement weather, running into some bad luck, so the Tigers are back in the indoor. So I've had a very small sample size of practice so far.
So how much? So when did they start, and how much have you gotten to see?
I saw a walkthrough, and they're just getting into period one right now.
Okay. Does when the team consistently goes inside, do they miss out? How much do they miss out on when they're not outside and they have to go inside?
So if it's a day game, it becomes more of an issue. Night games are not so much of a big deal. And I'm talking, if it's a game week and you're playing a night game, you obviously would rather play under the lights because you're going to see passes thrown underneath the lights. Whereas in a daytime game, you definitely want to practice outside for most of the week just to be used to the sun. And ideally, you really want to practice at the exact same time of the game. And you see that a lot during bowl seasons. If teams are normally 6 a.m. practicers or 2:30 p.m. practicers during bowl season, they'll completely switch it up in accordance with the time that the game actually occurs.
Would you all practice inside on weeks of night games?
We would, but we all, Monday, Tuesday, you're obviously still outside. But, yeah, the last 3 days of the week, you're usually in the indoor for night games.
Interesting. Okay, let's look at attendance today. There's been some notable absences. Anybody that stands out as best you can tell right now?
No, pretty much the same. The same guys are out. Dellinger's still out. We got some yellow jerseys, but every day that the yellow jersey herd thins a little bit. But yeah, I don't think we've had any other injuries since Saturday.
Is Stingley practicing yet?
No, he's not. He's doing drills and such, but he's not practicing yet.
Which we're doing drills. You just mean like off on the side, or?
Yeah, he's off on the side.
Okay. Let's see. We know Ricks was back. Ty Davis Price was back. Anybody else in yellow that you could see? Or gold, I should say.
I just walked outside because they started blowing the horn, and I didn't want you to hear that. But I don't from my vantage point, I don't see anybody else in yellow that's notable.
All good, man. All right, so I know you said they just got started for the day. Do you know what they're working on today, what the plan is for them to work on today?
Today, I think, is third down emphasis, and then they're going to get into, they're doing a lot of, I think it's 9-on-7 day today, too. They're in full pads, so I think it's a 9-on-7 day, which obviously is 9 defenders, 7 players on offense, and they're going to really hammer home getting 3 yards. Basically, in 9-on-7 drill, if you gain 3 yards on the offense, you win the drill, and if you stop them, the defense stops them, then they win the drill. And they usually, if we're in the indoor, they don't do more than 7 to 10 reps because it's on turf. When you're on grass, you typically get more reps because it's obviously the grass is softer.
Sure.
But I will tell you, after watching, I'm kind of off the side again, but I would say the difference, we talked about this last time, the difference in leadership this year is something that I've really noticed, where last year we didn't have so much of an identity, and I'm really seeing guys like Andre Anthony and Damone Clark really coming in their own with being vocal, and it's really good to see because we didn't have that last year. We had a lot more chaos last year at this time, and so it's nice to see that. And obviously, on top of that, Ali Gay is going to be one of our best players on defense, and he's really, really coming to his own, being vocal on defense and making sure everybody's in the right place.
What was the deal? Obviously, it was COVID last year. There was a lot of disruption during the summer. But why do you think that there was a void in leadership a season ago?
2019, we were such a much older team. We lost, I can't recall how many players but we had such a older team in 2019, and we had defined leaders. You knew Patrick Queen was the guy on defense, and last year it was an uncertainty of who's going to fill Patrick's shoes in terms of a vocal leader and a lead by example guy. And then obviously on offense it was Joe, and then you had Clyde. But Joe was directing traffic. He was the guy making calls in the field and audibles, putting guys in positions to make plays and recognizing defenses because his dad was an ex-coach. So you have those two, Patrick Queen, who had been here for 3 years, and Joe is he was a fifth-year guy.
Mm-hmm.
You had those players with so much experience coming into their own and owning the leadership that they needed to make our team successful. And this year, I think that's going to be a huge improvement on both sides of the ball because, like I said, you got our defensive players, and Ali Gay, I would consider the guy really stepping up on defense. And then on the offensive line, I would consider Liam Shanahan the leader, whereas last year Liam was a first-year guy at LSU out of Harvard, and now he's fine. He's comfortable. He's been here a year. He has that sense of being a veteran player now. And then obviously you got to have the quarterbacks at the top commanding the troops. So I think we're there too with Max because he's a year under his belt as well.
That's where I was going to follow up, Zach. Are you noticing, because I would imagine for Max, it's even different just in a relatively short amount of time, right? Because, I mean, he was battling for a job, and then in one day, it's his. So is he more vocal now, or is that still a process?
I would say it's a process, but at the same time, because he knows he's going to be the day one starter, he knows he's going to play at UCLA. He's definitely coming to his own as a leader, understanding that he can't be like, he played last year, but he can't be an underclassman right now. He has to step up to the plate and be that veteran player. He has a year under his belt, but he doesn't have to play more than what he is or do more than what Max Johnson can do. He just needs to be that leader and that guy that understands what the way that Joe did. He knows what the defense is trying to accomplish to slow our offense down, and he's directing traffic in that way. And he has to be comfortable and confident in his ability to recognize certain things. And I think he will do that. And I think him knowing that he's going to have the job is going to give him the confidence to be the leader that we need him to be.
Zach Von Rosenburg on Twitter at ZVR09. You'll give him a follow. Last thing, observations from the new coaches. I mean, all guys that you didn't play for, but obviously you can notice a contrast with a lot of different guys out there. So what stands out to you?
Yeah, and it is kind of funny because I'm 1 year removed, and I didn't get to play with a lot of these coaches. But what I can tell you is the offensive line this year, and I know we had a good offensive line coach before, but I think we're going to come into our own, and really, I think we're going to be one of the best offensive lines in all the SEC. And a lot of that has to do with got 5th years coming back, and I guess Deculus might be a 6th year, but these guys have been there, and they're battle tested. And I really think this O-line is going to show us something along with the D-line. I've never been more confident. And I played on the 2019 team. In terms of offensive, defensive, in the trenches, the depth, we haven't been better than we are right now, in my opinion. And I think it'll be something to watch on Saturday.
Second scrimmage of fall camp, or second preseason game of fall camp, is on Saturday in Tiger Stadium. Zach Von Rosenburg with us throughout fall camp, giving us camp reports. We appreciate it, man. Thanks so much.
All right, take care.
All right, be well. It's after further review. That's encouraging, man. I mean, and it is an interesting perspective considering he was there a year ago, and so you would obviously notice you get 6 new coaches on staff. I mean, you would notice it's different faces, it's different voices, it's different tempo, it's different everything. And who stands out? Went right to Brad Davis. That's encouraging, man, because that's the unit that Zach told us earlier this week. He said, listen, don't be so discouraged about the offensive line struggling a bit in that first scrimmage, because that's typically how it goes. When the defense can just pin their ears back and come, as you move along through camp, the offense installs more, they get more multiple, they get their timing, and then you throw in the factor of having a new offensive line coach with, a new voice, new expectation, all that stuff. That's going to come. That's encouraging. It's really interesting. He went right to Brad Davis there, especially considering they had their struggles, but been consistent. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.